Hello and welcome to Elecspo, and today we're taking another journey back in time to Football Manager 2011. As you probably know, I've simmed all the way to the current day to see what FM11 predicted the football world would look like in 2021. We've seen where each current Premier League boss is in 2021, but today I'm going to see who exactly is managing every Premier League club in May of 2021. There was a lot of demand for this in the comments, so hopefully it lives up to the hype. We're still using the 20 Premier League clubs from this season, so even though Sheffield United, Fulham and West Brom are going down, we're still going to have a look at them. But next time we'll have 3 new clubs to talk about. So let's do it. My name's James, you're watching Elecspo, and this is every current Premier League club's manager in 2021 according to FM11. Let's go. Arsenal, Roberto Donadoni. Arsenal have gone Italian on Football Manager 2011, going for Roberto Donadoni, a man who you might remember from Italy 2006. He wasn't the man who won the World Cup, he was the man who replaced Marcello Lippi days after Italy became champions of the world. It didn't quite go to plan. He left 2 years later after they did crap at Euro 2008. But on FM, he is the Arsenal manager. He's been there since 2013, he's got a long tenure at the Emirates. They've just finished second in the Premier League. Meanwhile, Mikel Arteta is nowhere to be seen. In reality, Roberto Donadoni was last seen in China managing Shenzhen, I think they were called. Either way, this isn't a very realistic appointment. If Arsenal went and appointed Donadoni now, you'd wonder what on earth had gone wrong. Aston Villa, Kevin Kilbane. While sure they're riding high with Dean Smith right now, on FM 2011 they've got Kevin Kilbane as manager. His stats aren't bad. For a coach, great attacking, great defending, great mental, great tactical, great technical. Everything else is pretty poor, but his stats are great. But this is a bloke who in reality has never even coached. Kevin Kilbane, best known for being a pundit on Match of the Day when there's crap games on or no one wants to do Football Focus. But for Aston Villa, things are going actually very well. They've just came 6th in the Premier League under the watchful eye of Kevin Kilbane. Maybe they should get him in instead of Dean Smith. Brighton, Kevin Dillon. Things aren't particularly great for Brighton in 2021 according to FM11. They're still in League One. They've still got their old badge for goodness sake. And they are managed by Kevin Dillon. No, not the actor, the man who hasn't managed since I think it was 2011 when he was at Aldershot. He's 61 years old and he's disciplined. That's about it. But for Brighton, still sitting mid-table in the 3rd tier of English football, which speaks volumes about their rise up the Football League. Burnley, Unai Emery. Yes, the man who was just beaten Manchester United in the Europa League final is managing in the Championship on FM11. He's the Burnley boss and they have just came 5th in the Championship and they failed in the playoffs. Unai Emery is still a Championship manager. Well, not still a Championship manager. He's never been a Championship manager in his life. In England, we only saw him at Arsenal where it didn't really go to plan. Since leaving, he's having a great time. We'll have a little look at his career. Unai Emery went from Sevilla. He started the simulation at Valencia, went to Sevilla, then to Sunderland where he only lasted a few months, and now he's at Burnley. It's safe to say things have gone a lot better in reality for Unai Emery, who had a very good evening on Wednesday night. Unlike David De Gea, who didn't look like he could even catch a cold on that night in Gdansk. Chelsea, Jurgen Klopp. You'll know this if you watched the previous video on where every current Premier League's manager is in FM11. And Jurgen Klopp is still the Chelsea boss. Chelsea have just had a rough season, coming 8th in the Premier League. They've got Wayne Hennessy in goal, it speaks volumes. But Jurgen Klopp is he's struggling a little bit in his first venture into England. With Liverpool, this is the first time he's actually managed in England and it's going wonderfully. He's won the Champions League, he's won the Premier League, he's won various Super Cups, the Club World Cup, the whole shebang. But at Chelsea, to be honest, he was lucky not to get the sack this season. FM11 not quite massive fans of Jurgen Klopp just yet. Crystal Palace, Craig Short. Palace are on the lookout for a new manager right now, but in all honesty, I'd be wildly surprised if they go for Craig Short. This is a man who in reality has only ever managed 2 clubs, Ferencváros and Notts County. Crystal Palace are actually a League One club on FM11 and they're managed by a bloke who in all honesty I can only really remember from shootout cards when he used to play for Blackburn. Was he a 2-star maybe? I don't know, I can't be bothered to dig them out, they're in the loft. Everton, Massimiliano Allegri. Everton have got a huge Italian name in reality, and they've got another one on FM11. In the real world they're managed by Carlo Ancelotti, but on FM11 it is Massimiliano Allegri, and he is taking Everton to 3rd in the Premier League. They are living it up with Max Allegri, a man who in reality, is he just about to go back to Juventus or something? At the time we're recording, that's the latest I've read. He was linked with the Real Madrid job, now the Juventus one might become available. It'll all have changed by the time this video goes up. I'm filming this on Thursday afternoon. By the weekend, who knows where he'll be? Maybe he'll have got the Wolves job, probably not. But on FM11, he is working absolute wonders with Everton. He's been there since, let's have a little look, he's been there since 2020, so he's not been there too long. He was Chelsea manager before this, where he spent 5 years, and with Everton, he's just had his best finish yet, 3rd in the Premier League. Well, actually, this is the 2nd year in a row in which he's came 3rd. Maybe Everton are just really good on FM11. It's a far cry from reality where they've just finished 10th. Fulham, Laszlo Balloni. I'll be honest with you, I don't know anything about Laszlo Balloni. He sounds like a sandwich filling. But he's the manager of Fulham on FM11 who just came 14th in the Premier League. And this is a man who has managed 15 clubs in his career. He was last seen at Panathinaikos in 2020, it might have been 2021. Either way, he's not managed anyone nowadays. On FM11, his stats are pretty good. We'll have a little look at his career, see what he's been up to. I mean, I don't even know who he is, to be honest with you. He was at West Ham, Bordeaux, Lens. He has spent a lot of time in the UAE, but he did in reality, obviously. I'm saying obviously like I know him. I just looked at your Wikipedia page, for goodness sake. Let's move on. Leeds United, Ruud Gullit. There's no bucket enthusiast Marcelo Bielsa to talk about on this simulation. Instead, Leeds have got Ruud Gullit, and to be honest, things are going even better. He's just guided them to a 7th place finish in the Premier League. This is a man who hasn't managed in years in reality. I can't actually remember the last club he managed. He was at Newcastle where it all went to pot, where he had a falling out with Alan Shearer. That didn't end well. Nowadays, you just see him on Match of the Day. Leicester, Jose Luis de Vesa. Right, I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't have a clue who this guy is. Even a Google search didn't really clear things up. So if you know in the comments below, give me the lowdown on Jose Luis de Vesa, because he is the Leicester manager in 2021. And they haven't just won the FA Cup and bottled the Champions League like they have in the real world. Liverpool, Rafa Benitez. Yes, Rafa Benitez is back at Anfield for a second spell. He started the simulation, he just actually left Liverpool that summer, joined Inter Milan. He didn't spend too long at Inter Milan, went to Real Madrid. Christ, this is very realistic. He's been to Tottenham, he's been to Roma, Villarreal, Palermo, Aston Villa, AC Milan. He's also the England under-21s boss. He hasn't been spending long at clubs, to be honest with you, but he is back at Liverpool for a second spell. And he's just finished 5th in the Premier League. I don't really understand why he's also managing the England under-21s. On this simulation, Rafa Benitez has got 2 jobs. In the real world, he hasn't got a single job at all. Someone give this man a job, for goodness sake. He's bored at home walking the dogs, I'd imagine. Although he has got nice dogs. Man City, Quique Sanchez Flores. They've just won the Premier League like they have in reality, but it's not Pep Guardiola calling the shots, it's a different Spaniard, Quique Sanchez Flores. Quique Sanchez Flores has been at Man City since 2011. He's had a lengthy spell at the Etihad, and there's been no mention of Watford on his CV at all. That is absolutely shocking. That man absolutely lives at Hertfordshire. Do Watford play in Hertfordshire? I think that's right, because it's not actually London, is it? I found that out the hard way when I said it on a HITC video. Anyway, Quique Sanchez Flores, he's got nothing to do with Watford. He is the Manchester City manager, and he's been there for nearly 10 years. Manchester United, Gregorio Manzano. Man United have got a pretty rogue choice for their manager. There's no Pep Guardiola or Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Max Allegri or Jurgen Klopp. There's no big names. Gregorio Manzano, a man who has been managing since 1983. He's basically the Spanish answer to Roy Hodgson. Possibly, I'm not really sure. He was last seen in China, but on this simulation, he spent a year or so at Sevilla, and he's been at Man United since 2013. He's just won the Champions League. I mean, I'm slagging him off, and he's a European Cup winner, which is more than you can say for Man United this past week. Christ, I don't know why I'm slagging them off so much. It was a little bit harsh on them. They did only get beat on penalties. If only David De Gea had tried to say any of them. Newcastle United, Alan Shearer. He's briefly managed Newcastle before. He spent 8 games with them, and I think it was 2009 when they went down. But I mean, everyone says Shearer took them down, but they were damaged beyond repair at that point. On this FM, his stats are pretty good. Obviously, he's great at attacking, man management's good. He works with youngsters well, good at judging player ability. He's determined, disciplined, good at motivating, and that is why he is the Newcastle manager. It's the stuff of dreams, man. He went from Blackburn to Newcastle. He's been there since 2018. He's established Newcastle as a top half club, which Newcastle fans can only dream of. And I'm going to just quickly point you in the direction of the Newcastle United staff, because there's some odd names here working for Alan Shearer. He's got John O'Shea, who's assistant manager, and he's got Carlos Puyol as a coach. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to do a video on strange coaching appointments, because there's some random ones going on in this simulation. But anyway, while Shearer is the Newcastle boss on FM11, in reality, he's the BBC's main pundit, telling Newcastle where they're going wrong every week. Sheffield United, Phil Brown. Similar to FM11, they've gone down. They came rock bottom in reality. On this simulation, they've came 19th. And there's no Chris Wilder. Instead, it is Phil Brown calling the shots. Phil Brown, currently the Southend United boss, I believe. He's from my neck of the woods, actually. He went to college with me dad. I usually see him in the pub every now and then with his false tan. Or is it false tan or is it real? Either way, he's absolutely radiant. Southampton, Javier Lopez Vallejo. Tactically and technically, this man's an absolute wizard. He's got 20s for tactical coaching and 20 for technical coaching. But Southampton, all that's got them in, it was the Championship. They've came 8th this season in the Championship. Javier Lopez Vallejo, he's got no managerial experience. He's an ex-goalkeeper, best known for playing for Osasuna and Villarreal. But on FM 2011, he is the Southampton manager. Tottenham Hotspur, Steve Bruce. At the time of recording, there's talk that Tottenham might reappoint Maurizio Pochettino, or they could do what FM11 have done and give the job to Steve Bruce. Please, just take him off Newcastle's hands, Daniel Levy. Come on, do us all a favour. Steve Bruce is the Tottenham manager. Let's have a little look at his career. He's basically just spent his days in England like he has in reality. Started Sunderland in this simulation, he's been to Birmingham, he's been to Blackpool, and he's been the Tottenham boss since December 2019. And the highest finish he's had is 5th. He won an FA Cup, I believe. Yeah, Christ, he won an FA Cup with Blackpool. That's pretty good, actually. Yeah, he won the FA Cup with Spurs in 2020. Steve Bruce is a cup specialist. In reality, Newcastle fans just absolutely despise him. Pundits love him though, so that's all that matters. West Brom, Colin Calderwood. The Baggies haven't got a manager, with Sam Allardyce walking out because he says he doesn't want to be somewhere long term, or he's blaming someone else for it. Either way, it's not his fault, he'll tell you. But on FM11, West Brom have came 3rd in the Championship. They've failed in the playoffs. They're still a yo-yo club, unsurprisingly. And they are managed by Colin Calderwood. Last seen at Cambridge United in 2020. To be honest, Colin Calderwood for me is best known for being a coach. But on FM11, he's the main man. And he's doing all right with West Brom. West Ham United, Tony Mowbray. They're living the high life with David Moyes at the minute, despite me slagging them off and saying they'd go down at the start of the season. But on FM11, Tony Mowbray is the West Ham United manager. He's currently at Blackburn Rovers. To be honest, the only thing I really know about Tony Mowbray is that wonderful car impression he does that they used to put on Soccer AM all the time. But at West Ham, he's been the manager there. He's not been there too long, actually. Just joined just before Christmas in 2020. Before then, he'd spent a long time at Fulham, a fair few years at Middlesbrough. But at West Ham, they have just came 11th in the Premier League. And finally, Wolves, no one. Wolves don't have a manager on FM 2011 in 2021. That's because they have just sacked Andre Villas-Boas. AVB, the former Chelsea, the former Tottenham boss. I don't know why his name's not came up in the search there. There he is, Andre Villas-Boas. 43 years old. I mean, look at those numbers. He's absolutely fantastic. But that wasn't enough to keep him in the job at Wolves. He started the simulation at Porto. By 2015, he became Portugal boss. He's been to Sampdoria. He's been to Liverpool for nearly 2 years. Now he's on the unemployment line after finishing 16th in the Premier League with Wolves. Just like in reality, Wolves have got no manager. They've just got rid of a Portuguese fella. And as for Andre Villas-Boas, in the real world, he's out of the job. Maybe he's in the contention for the Wolves job. It's Long or Larger. used to be Benfica boss. He's the man who looks like he's going to get the job. AVB, he's been out of work since January or February when he walked out of Marseille because they signed Olivier Ntcham on loan. That is an awful endorsement of Olivier Ntcham. Andre Villas-Boas rated him so low that he walked out of the club because of his loan signing. But there we have it. That is every current Premier League club's manager in 2021 according to FM11. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo. And until next time, we will see you around.